Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Pedro, and this is Cat Therapy. The idea of this deck is playing Ajani Nakatl Pariah in a blue mid-range shell, specifically alongside Cabal Therapy. Cabal Therapy is a pretty broken effect, as long as you have material to get the flashback off. The best way to use Cabal Therapy is in decks that just have extra stuff laying around, or you have stuff that you want to die. And Ajani provides both of those things together. Turn 1 Cabal Therapy, turn 2 Ajani, sacrifice the cat, rip a card that you know is in their hand, flip Ajani, make a new cat right away. Powerful interaction. Ajani, like its cycle mate Tameo, both from the same cycle of cheap creatures that flip into planeswalkers from Modern Horizons 3. Making a planeswalker on turn 1 or 2, pretty powerful, as Tameo has proven in this format. We're doing it twice. We've got 7 total copies of ways to have a turn 2 planeswalker cranking. Cabal Therapy also works alongside Orcish Bowmaster, who brings a token, and Baleful Strix, who draws a card on the way in. And the decks where you don't really need to block are the decks you really want to Cabal Therapy. So dumping off a Baleful Strix, pretty good deal. We gotta win somehow. I've got Murktide Region in here. I considered Barogoyf in either the main or the side, but decided to go this way instead. There's a lot of removal in the deck, a lot of chump blocking. Hopefully the matchups where you'd want a Barogoyf were just pretty solid against anyway. And the changes, the new cards I added from Pedro's original list that he sent me, which was a holdover from the Psychic Frog era of Legacy. I'm trying a couple Felias and a couple Flow States. Flow State doesn't normally work in creature decks because you need instants and sorceries. And despite being a creature deck, we also have a lot of instants and sorceries. We have a high number of creatures for a Legacy deck, but that hasn't stopped us from having a ton of 1-mana ways to turn this thing on. And anytime you're playing a mid-range deck, just some kind of no-frills way to get card advantage through the mid-game is a good deal. Try and Flow State here, and Felia. This is not the highest leveraged Felia deck that you could hope for, but flickering Ajani, Bowmaster, Baleful Strix, or either of the Planeswalkers all do enough here. We've also got Containment Priest and Consignment Memory in the sideboard if we want to get cute with the Felia. We're playing Caracas anyway because we have a bunch of legends in the deck we want to protect. I like trying the Felias here. Pedro's original list had a Jeskai Triome with 4th Aerolingus, which I think we don't need a 4th color in this deck, and sticking to the Esper roots is going to serve us better. It's pretty much just classic mid-range Magic, and we'll see if that can hang in this powerful combo and tempo-centric Legacy format we're in right now. Let's do it. This is Cat Therapy. The weekend of July 11th, I'll be headed to Baltimore for the DMV Legacy League's Triple Threat Weekend. CubeCon DMV is the heart of the event, featuring 3 drafts of elite curated cubes with a cut to top 8 on Sunday. Saturday, you can test your mettle in the DMV Legacy League's annual Legacy Open, the Classic. And Sunday, join the NYC Pauper League in Pauper Genesis, the biggest Pauper event in North America to date. And best of all, the event is for charity. Sign up at dmvll.com/BoshNRoll. Save $20 if you sign up for the Classic before June 1st. I'll see you there. I am on the play in round number 1. I'll keep this hand. I am going to go for the Hero Cabal Therapy, and I'm going to name Brainstorm. I could wait a turn, see at least a land drop, and know what's going on over there, but I do have the Strix to follow this up. Oh, wow, that's distressing. There are 2 entries of Brainstorm on this selecting drop-down. Why would that be the case? Oh, dear. Well, I'm just going to pick one and hope it's the right one. Okay, 2 Plows, Beanstalk. They're on a Beanstalk deck. You don't really want to see a giant control deck like this when you are a mid-range deck. Yeah, this Swords to Plowshares, honestly, kind of annoying because Baleful Strix has an ETB trigger. I'd love to just sack this and rip that Beanstalk out of their hand, but if they plow in response, I don't get the window. Yeah, and they see it. And this is still a 2-for-1, but it's not what I wanted. Another Therapy. I will force a Beanstalk here. I'm not playing against that shit. Force the Beanstalk. And then... Okay. Now we're cooking, team. I could play this other therapy. I could therapy my opponent so many times this turn. The card they could have that could mess me up is Force of Will. Like if I play this Ajani, I think I'm just gonna Cabal Therapy naming Quantum Riddler and get a look at the hand. And I'm just gonna hope they haven't drawn exactly Force of Will. Quantum Riddler. Okay, you've got a Wasteland. It's good to know about. I was gonna Wasteland you, but I think instead I'll just take all the cards out of your hand. Johnny, Flashback Cabal Therapy. I'll take the Teferi. Teferi Time Raveler. Now I have a choice to make. I could flashback my other therapy right now. I get to make a cat. I don't really want Uro in their graveyard, and I no longer care about Swords to Plowshares, so I'm actually not going to therapy again. There's the Wasteland. Yeah, I expected to see the Uro here. I don't think they're trying to waste me. They're trying to get back in the game. Xander's Lounge. So Domain is something they're interested in. Make another cat. Back for 2. And I can take them off green, which actually seems sick because Uro is in the graveyard and a card I'm slightly worried about. There are 0 red permanents in the deck. This is all flavor text, but we live with that. All right, Wastelanding me. Everybody's Wastelanding everybody. I'm going to plow in the end step, because even if they brainstorm here, Tamio still dies. Another Ajani, let's go. Attack with these cats. And flipping Ajani is optional. I guess I should have done this pre-combat if I was going to buff. I don't have to buff, though. I'll make a 2/1 cat, and then I'll make 2 more cats. With the plan of starting to buff the cats next turn. Passing the turn. I'm not worried about this Swords to Plowshares. It would remove one of my creatures, which is the same thing as me flashing back Cabal Therapy to take the plow. It would actually be worse, because I'd sack a creature to take the plow, they'd plow in response, and I lose 2 creatures instead of 1. There it is, coast to coast to Johnny. Nice top deck. We're against a control deck, which means we have to take the aggressive posture. I could put Force of Negation in. Keeping Beanstalk out of play is going to be pretty important. I don't think I'm trying to erode this opponent, though cutting a plow, leaving an erode in. Well, we saw Riddler, so they're going to have Felia. Something has to give, though. Yeah, I'm going to shave a Swords to Plowshares, leave an erode, because if they flip Tamio or if they resolve to Fairy, that's an answer to that thing. I don't have a lot of sideboard in my deck for control because it's not a big part of the metagame right now. I'm going to try to scam their face off again. Well, here it is. I'll keep. Meticulous Archive enters tapped. Okay, Cabal Therapy is happening. Do I want to name Beanstalk or Force of Will? I think it's Beanstalk. Up the Beanstalk. Okay, hand is a bunch of clunkers. I was never going to name any of these cards. But these cards also don't interact with my Ajani follow-up. Carpet of Flowers, pretty strong. And Warping the Riddler. Yeah, getting that out of the way makes sense. All right, it's Ajani time. Have you drawn a Force of Will? No. I'll take that Rakshas's Bargain from your hand. When it's picked up a Brainstorm. Yeah, I guess here I could have fetched my Scrubland or Basic Plains to not beat this carpet as much. There's a little bit of gain there. I don't like that both my draws this game have been lands. I was hoping for a little more, and I'm keeping that hand every time. But I do need a little help here. There's the Uro. Fetching in response, yikes. Are they going to scam this in somehow, or just getting rid of their Brainstorm cards? Yeah, Leyline Binding is on here. Okay. Big moves. Narset Parter of Veils. Get out of here. Okay, I am going to fetch my Scrubland and hopefully turn off a bunch of their deck right now. Narset's in. Grab a Ponder. My one of Bowmaster just went to the bottom of my deck. Okay, now I just hope their hand is just all Beanstalks and draw spells. In Uro, there's a Riddler in exile. You could play that. It doesn't draw any cards. Uro could escape if they get some stuff in the graveyard, but that doesn't draw any cards either. It's just a body. And the bodies matter. Don't get me wrong. All right, Teferi Plus. Interesting. Activate Narset. My own Teferi. Fun. Everybody can do this. Whack shit. Yeah, I'll put that in my hand. And I'll Brainstorm. Get rid of Meticulous Archive, and Wasteland is long gone. Wasteland could affect their domain, maybe. With these two fetches, I guess I don't need the Underground Sea. I can do this. Basic Plains. Doorkeeper Thrall. Yeah, might as well put that into play, I guess. Then I'll bounce it. Okay, we're working with perfect info. Opponent has Doorkeeper Thrall in their hand. Weird game. The old Doorkeeper Thrall Quantum Riddler combo. If they can clear Narset here, I'm cooked. Plus Teferi. Played out the Thrall. I can play and flip Tameo this turn. Plowing my cat. No cards left over there. Plus Teferi. Tameo. Ponder. Swords to Plowshares. Do I want that? Eventually, yes. Don't shuffle the plow. I do have to fetch to Ponder again. Ponder. Another plow and a Cabal Therapy. Opponent's Hellbent. That doesn't matter. I'm going to have to get through Uro and Quantum Riddler eventually. I really don't want this Cabal Therapy or this Force of Negation, but I do want the plow. I guess I just shuffle this. Spell Pierce, another stinker. Okay, here we go. Planeswalker Battle. Made a bunch of white. Teferi bouncing Leyline Binding. Does not draw a card. Ajani does not make a cat. Leyline Binding's in your hand if you're now more worried about Narset. Clever, clever. And now Riddler can arrive with no ETB trigger. That works, though. Gross. Oh, come on. All right. Well, a bunch of Beanstalks now. And warping Riddler from hand. So fucked up. All right. Well, that was a messed up chain of events made possible by their smart bounce of their own Leyline Binding. That was a good play. Okay. Back to work here. Ball Therapy. I don't know what's over there. There's two Riddlers in Warp now. I kind of want them to have Doorkeeper Thrall, though the Beanstalks are going to draw so many cards anyway. I could minus Tameo, Brainstorm, and hope for an answer to Leyline Binding right now. I don't play a lot of those, though. Teferi's in play and at the wrong loyalty. I'll plus that. And it might just be trying to go for the Tameo win here. Play Wasteland. I can just put Strix into play. It doesn't draw a card, but at least it's there. Don't love any of that. I guess I could have killed Teferi this turn, but that unlocks, yeah, like I want their card to be in play. All right, I'll play out the other Tameo as well, getting some blocker value and some clues on the battlefield. All useful to me. I really wish my opponent hadn't drawn 5 cards last turn. That was disappointing. Okay, draw 2 off the Beanstalk, but don't draw for the Riddler. That's in there. Caracas. That mostly doesn't matter. Burrow just comes into play and stays there because of the Doorkeeper. That does matter. Okay. Now it's my turn. Brainstorm will flip Tameo, whether I like it or not. I could Cabal Therapy first, sack the Tameo off. I could have a sequence here where I waste them off domain. Like, I would love to get Leyline Binding out of play, but they can just play it back again. And there's a swamp. Yeah, this is going to cost 2. It'll either cost 1 and they have 1 mana, or 2 and they have 2 mana. I can't wasteland them off of everything I need to do this turn. I think I have to cast Brainstorm this turn, though. Target you with Cabal Therapy. Or I could try to plow Uro first, and if they bounce it... Alright, I'm going to go there. Plow Uro. If they bounce it, then I have a for sure hit off Cabal Therapy. Okay, just let that happen. It's cool. Plus my Teferi. Therapy you. What do I name here? I feel like they would have plowed if they had plow. I'll name Force of Will. It's kind of an annoying thing to have to name. Okay, just 2 lands in hand. Yeah, I was trying to think, like there's so many things that if they had, they would have used by now, and they didn't use it, so they don't have it. All right, I guess I just try to go plus Tameo and hold the 4th then, now that I see their hand is a big pile of bricks. Or I'm actually going to wasteland this Caracas. I want my blockers available to me. Yeah, you can bounce Tameo, that's fine. I did that when I did it. That also unlocks my Brainstorm. That's tight. Hold on. Hold on. Spell Pierce and Force of Negation can go. Fetch. Underground Sea. Tameo. Velia. putting all my permanents into play. Opponent can draw a bunch of cards this turn. Just gonna hope they're not good enough. Go. 4 in the pool. Plus Teferi. We knew about that one. That's a draw 2. Brainstorm. My poor Narset. Trying so hard to do the Lord's work over there. Played Flooded Strand and fetched. I can mostly presume these lands are gone. Oh god, Wrath of the Skies for 2 or 3 here would be pretty annoying. It'll blow up a lot of their stuff too. But at least they're not literally dead to my Tameo. Yeah, that kills all their Beanstalks. And they have to attack Tameo here to not die, which means Teferi will have a moment to shine. Okay. That could have been worse, I guess. Could have been better too. Teferi bounce Leyline Binding. That gets my Narset back. And I drew a Cabal Therapy. A bunch of shitty counter spells that aren't going to help. Ponder. Baleful Strix I kind of like. Land I don't like. I guess I have to pay the piper here. Strix draws the land. I can play this land. Cabal Therapy, naming Leyline Binding. I know that's in there. Lavinia, Uro, Tameo, Clarion Conqueror. Man, Clarion Conqueror. It's a lot of good cards. Tameo might want to minus this turn. I could just minus Tameo on a Brainstorm and try to do anything here. My opponent does not have any removal spells, though. If I plus Tameo, Narset still dies. Yeah, that's no good. All right, I will get back Brainstorm while this is still an option. Hitting an Ajani here would be great. Ugh, pretty bad. I think I'm out of vegetables. Oh, I do have a basic island. All right, I'll get Meticulous Archive. Oh, Ajani. No, why? Why are you 1 card too deep? Okay, I think I've lost. Also, somewhere along this game, I've become 7 minutes behind my opponent on clock. That's a messed up number. They are attacking Narset. I'll take the trade. They could Uro plus Conqueror here. There's Uro. There's the Misty we know about. Lavinia turns off Flashback Cabal Therapy. All right. I can't win this game anymore. We're doing pretty well until that double Beanstalk Riddler turn. Wrath of the Skies. My opponent has shown a high number of creatures in their deck. Like the Doorkeeper through all the Lavinia. Wrath can also clear out Beanstalks and Carpet. I still don't think Force of Negation is bad, but I think having 1 Wrath is better. Okay, I'll try this. I will keep this hand. It's not perfect, but it does have some stuff that I like in the early game, and we hope that it lines up well to get me into the mid game. I am not going to fetch here. The basic plains is making things a little awkward. Underground Sea, Ponder. I'm looking for a blue source. This is a little risky because I could have just held up this Spell Pierce, but we did get there. No shuffle. I can hold up Spell Pierce into their Beanstalk turn and then jam Narset with Force Backup on the following. Or I could do something like Ajani plus Wasteland. They dumped a Tundra. They're not looking for lands here. At least not more blue-white lands. There's a fetch. Nah. Nah. That's not the Beanstalk I was hoping to clip, but pretty happy with that. Okay. I think Narset is a more powerful effect to have on the battlefield right now. She's in there. I'll grab another Force of Will. The shields are up. Mana showing. Activate Narset again. Teferi makes their turn pretty stupid. I'm actually going to Wasteland the green before I do anything. Blue floating. Change phases. Nothing spent. Teferi. This can get ahead of a Doorkeeper Thrall kind of thing. Yeah, Felia. Same shit. Bounce that. Caracas will cover that. Hey, flow state. And it's on. Look at that. Instant sorcery. Trivial to get together. Felia's fine. And they're missing land drops. Let's go. My own Felia. I'm going to flow state first. I think I want Ponder and Marsh Flats. And then play Caracas. I can Ponder at instant speed. I'll just pass the turn. Bounce Felia. Might as well keep playing it. End step Ponder. Plow Strix. I don't actually need or want any of these cards right now. Take a Tameo. Ball Therapy. There we go. Getting the gang together. I can play and Flashback Cabal Therapy on my opponent's turn thanks to Teferi. I could just go in their upkeep. Oh, but I can't activate Ajani at instant speed. All right, fine. I'll just cast my spell. All right, I'm going to name Leyline Binding. I think that's the card I'm most worried about here. Wowie. Bunch of cards that are not Leyline Binding. Ajani. We've got Plow, Conqueror, Rakshas's Bargain, Wrath, Brainstorm, Tameo. Right, I will hit the Brainstorm from their hand here. Oh, wait, no. I have fucking Narset in play. I don't care about that at all. Yeah, I'll name Bargain. Rakshas's Bargain. No, actually, the Clarion Conqueror is probably my biggest concern. Yeah, I'll name the Conqueror. That's out of here. Make a 2/1. Fetch. Make a Tameo. And pass. But I'm more worried about my clock than I am about the game right now. And as long as I keep it moving. Okay, opponent mercifully doesn't want to make me play it out. Nice little Planeswalker lock there. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in round 2. I'll keep my hand. Tameo with some stuff to do. It's kind of nice that I have 1 Teferi, 1 Narset in the deck, and they just keep showing up. I have to fetch Tundra here. I guess it could be Underground Sea, but I can't get Basic Island, is what I'm saying. It's not possible. Urza's Saga. It's likely to be annoying. Attack with Tameo. And I think I just want to add Ajani to the board. It gives me the most moves next turn and applies a bunch of pressure. Marsh Flats, Urza Saga. Are we played against Cephalid Breakfast right now? No, not with that basic swamp. Thoughtseize, here's a bunch of Garbo. I wonder if this is Black Saga Storm. Do they play fetch lands? My hand is not good against Storm. Unless they're a draw 7 version of Storm where Narset would stop them. Yeah, taking the Teferi before it can bounce Urza Saga. Good call. Spell Pierce, interesting. That's probably pretty good here. The question is, do I try to ponder into a blue land, or is that just greedy? Wasteland is also here. Wasteland, blue land, Force of Will. Yeah, I will cast the ponder. Ball Therapy I would also cast. Oh, the full miss. Shuffle that. Wasteland found. We're out, team. Close call. Hope you needed that. Blue to Delta. There's blue mana in this deck. Wishclaw Talisman. Okay, definitely a Storm deck. Blue land would be great again. Oh, Cabal Therapy. Let's party. I will attack first. I can Therapy and Flashback Therapy and hold up Spell Pierce here. That's a lot of juice. I think I want to name Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Missed on that one. Lion's Eye Diamond would have been my other name, and they do have one of those. There's 2 Brainstorms over there. Do I think they're going to do that? That Duress is kind of annoying. All right. I will Flashback Therapy, and I think I want to take the Lion's Eye Diamond. 2 Brainstorms and a Duress and an Infernal Tutor in that hand. Make a cat, pass the turn. There's one of the Brainstorms. They know I have Prismatic Ending. This Wishclaw Talisman is just sitting there. They're incentivized to use it. A tap land. It'll probably just bin whatever's on top as a way to clear Brainstorm cards. Build your own half of a fetch land. I dumped Beseech the Mirror. I'm probably getting Duressed here. Oh, Thoughtseize. Okay. I am going to Spell Pierce this and hope that Prismatic Ending killing their Wishclaw Talisman is bad for them. Prismatic End Wishclaw. Make a cat. Attack for 2. A little nervous here. I'm starting to run out of moves, but they are running out of life. Brainstorm. This is seeing 3 new cards, but their draw step was an old card from the last Brainstorm. I don't care about Duress because I'm dead anyway. There's no interaction over here. They know I have Narset, which is a blue card. They don't know that this is not Force. They do know I haven't actually manipulated my draws since this shuffled Ponder all those turns ago. They're dead on board if they Thoughtseize me but don't win. But Duress, we know it's there. Another Wishclaw. Okay, you're back in business. Lion's Eye Diamond, gross. We know there's an Infernal Tutor over there. Looted Delta. This could get Narset into play, but I don't know if that's actually good. I'm going to +1 my cats. And attack. One's got 2 life. Plenty of stuff to do. Do I play the Narset or do I crack a clue? I could do something like plow my own Cat Warrior to go to 22 life, which requires an extra storm to win. I guess stopping them from drawing cards is probably worthwhile. Alright, I'm gonna play the Narset and hope I'm not dead. That's all I can do. Activate Narset for good measure. Sure, I'll put a Cabal Therapy in my hand. Doesn't matter. One of us is dead here. I guess I should have put the Brainstorm in my hand to make them think this might be Force of Will, this unknown card. Now they know I can't have Force Blue card. It did matter a little bit. On the fringes. But I just have to hope that onboard Demonic Tutor plus 5 mana plus Infernal Tutor to follow up doesn't kill me, which seems unlikely. Ad nauseum from 2 is not really a thing. Echo of Eons is off because of Narset. If they can make a Beseech line that just makes Deterministic Storm out of the graveyard, that'll do it. Rome Mox. Pitching Death Wish. Hell yeah. Nice. That's a fun card to see in a deck. Infernal Tutor on the stack. Holding priority. 4 mana left. This smells like a Beseech the Mirror for Gaia's Will for LED. Win the game to me. Yeah, I think they found it. They'd have to either mess up or not have the obvious package. Yeah, there's the Gaia's Will. LED. Just Beseech for Tendrils. Not quite it. They need to Duress me once, which they do have everything they need here. Yeah, just Duress. Alright, a tight one. Could I have found 2 more damage somewhere? I guess if I name LED off that first Cabal Therapy, that's where this game improves. And LED and Dark Ritual are kind of the same thing, but now I know that their Infernal Tutor list, LED has even more text than Dark Ritual does. Like if I hit on the front of that first Cabal Therapy and then flash back and get to take the Infernal Tutor, then this line they just set up doesn't exist. My sniper scope was not on correctly. Okay, Black Saga Storm, Damping Sphere coming in, Consigned to Memory, some number of those, Force Negation for sure, Stony Silence, Wrath of the Skies. I got a lot for this deck. Okay, the Plows and the Erode are all out of here. Prismatic Ending is still fine. Love Cabal Therapy. I like my blue cards. I do need to be able to win the game, but I don't think Bowmaster is very good. I'm also looking at Felia as a potential cut. Strix and Teferi are low impact, but they're blue, and I have 5 forces I need to support. At 19 lands, I can't cut one of those. I could go -1 Felia, get 1 Consign in there. Opponent has so much discard, I don't have a lot of faith in Consign as a weapon, but I think 1 is better than 1 Felia. Though Felia does also battle Urza Saga fair and square. Just if they're on the... If I lock them out and put them on the fair plan, Felia can delete constructs over time. But Strix and Wrath do that too. Yeah, I think the first Consign is better than the second Felia. But after that, I'm not convinced anymore. Okay, Cabal Therapy, Tameo Brainstorm. I'll keep. I'm going to Therapy Lion's Eye Diamond this time. That's just the most powerful card in their deck. Underground Sea, Cabal Therapy, Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's see, 3 of them. 0 of them. Okay. Did get in before Veil of Summer, though. The cool thing about Cabal Therapy is that you just name the card you're most afraid of, and either way, they don't have it anymore. It either wasn't in their hand, or they just discarded them all. Their hand is pretty clunky. Brainstorm can smooth that out a little bit, but Ad Nauseam, Beseech, Veil? That's not very good. Okay, Fetch, or Tundra. I'm just going to Tameo Brainstorm immediately. I'm looking for one of my lock pieces. None of that is that. They put back Prismatic Ending and Murktide, I think. These are the cards I'd like to hide the most. Or Brainstorm Murktide. Yeah, Brainstorm Murktide. That's better. Plus Tameo. And pass. Not ideal. We know they've got Surveil lands. There's one now. They fetched a land that does not Brainstorm, which is pretty nice. Oh god. Well, bad news, everyone. I have a target for Prismatic Ending. I guess that's backdoor good news, but this Carpet of Flower is going to let them brainstorm and kind of go nuts here. Brainstorm. Their bad hand just got good. Okay, I'm going to plus my Tameo. Well, my options are brainstorm, see what's going on. All right, yeah, I'm going to brainstorm, see what's going on. I'll start there. I'm likely to prismatic end, but I'd love to hit a land here. Okay, we did find a land. Flow state is on as well. I'll put back Thalia flow state, and then prismatic end this carpet plus Tameo. Play different Tameo. I'm pretty scared of that ad nauseum. I've done 0 damage this game, unlike last game where I got them to 2 before they were able to do anything. If they just find some mana, this ad nauseum is going to be sick. Saga. Yeah, please Thoughtseize me. Let's go. Duress the full miss. Look at my handful of creatures and weep. That's why I hit flow state on top. I am going to flow state here, leaving up white. That's a lot of Garbo. I'll take Ajani and Ponder, and I'll cast Ponder. And I'm looking for Force of Will. Didn't get it. Okay, I am going to not shuffle, and then I'm going to attack with Tameo, and then I'm going to flashback Cabal Therapy. I know they have Veil in their hand, but this Tameo doesn't matter, and Veil might protect them or build Storm. Like, doing this now makes them think I drew a counterspell, because the Veil is face up. Yep, there's Veil. That's fine. You draw a card. That's gone. Plus Tameo. Land. Pass. I have one unknown card in my hand, and I need them to believe that it's Force of Will, though this threat of Tameo Ultimate means that you can't actually bluff here, because they're going to die next turn. When I draw half my deck, they just have to send whatever it is they've got, and hope I don't have it. Wishclaw Talisman resolves. They've made their land drop already. If they have something cheeky like Chain of Vapor, they could Wishclaw for that and bounce Tameo. I imagine they're going to try to actually win. Yeah, the Adna is pitched. One unknown. 2 mana left here. So Dark Ritual Beseech, does that win? There's no 0 mana artifacts in their graveyard right now. Okay, Chrome Mox in the graveyard actually is. If the card in their hand is black, then that's Chrome Mox, pitch the card from their hand. Dark Ritual still can't Beseech after that. They're mana short there. If the card in their hand is just Lion's Eye Diamond, they win, but they would have done this before going for the other guy, the Beseech, or the Will. Okay, Beseech for Beseech. Yeah, sacking the Saga. That builds 1 Storm. Still not enough to kill me. All right, yeah, they just don't have a line. Good. Thanks, Tameo. All right, I won a game while drawing 0 of my sideboard cards. Maybe we can change that this time. Yeah, I like this collection of cards that I have. Well, this is the hand I would have if I was cheating, so I'm going to keep it. Force blue card, potent hate piece, and the mana to cast it. A tap land. I'd love to draw a different blue card so I can develop this Tameo and be moving forward while I hold the line. I was pitching my whole hand to resolve Damping Sphere. Won't hold them back forever. Tendrils in the graveyard's interesting. All right, different blue card unlocked. Tendrils in the graveyard might mean they play 2 tendrils, might mean they have to Death Wish to get the other one, might mean they have to take a Gaia's Will line. There's a lot of maybes there. Brainstorm, then a land drop. Found my colors. I'll attack with Tameo first, see if there's anything they want to do here. Nope. Damping Sphere is a little awkward right now, because if I play Damping Sphere and they end step Nature's Claim It or something, I can't Force of Will, because that costs a mana. But once we go into their turn and my spell count resets and I have this Force up into this, I'm going to feel pretty good. Okay, tap land, love it. Kept a card. Now Urza's Saga is my main concern. Chrome Mox, that's 1 spell. Just investing some mana. That card's pretty good with Tameo, I've heard. Attack with Tameo. I will do the dumb thing. Cool. There's a lot to like about this spread of cards I'm looking at. I think I'm going to go Cabal Therapy on top. Yeah, I'm going to go Flooded Strand Cabal Therapy. My plan is to Prismatic and the Chrome Mox that they just spent a turn and 2 cards developing. Black in the pool. Ooh, all right, I fucked that up. Well, I couldn't counter that anyway. It's fine. Cabal Therapy on top of the deck. Tameo active. Double Force still here. Opponent's got 4 cards in their hand. Dark Ritual. 2 cards left. 1 card left. This looks bad for my opponent. I'm just going to force this. I'm not messing around with. I mean, I probably could have got them on the hook for a Beseech, but in case there is some, like, empty the warrants kind of shit. But I guess Tameo covers that. I'm not totally in tune with how Ad Nauseam Tendrils and Black Saga Storm are building their decks right now. That might have been just a free roll to let them Beseech. But either way, the game is over. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. It's a little slow, but I'll take it. Wasteland is action. I have a Surveil land in my deck. I'll lead on Polluted Delta because Flooded Strand gets the basics in case this is a matchup where that's important. Once Upon a Time. Okay. There are sometimes times where forcing Once Upon a Time is correct, but I don't think Legacy is normally where that happens. That's more of a vintage thing where, like, the Once Upon a Time might find Bazaar Baghdad and then you don't get to force a will anything anymore. Teferi. Yeah, I'll take Teferi. That's fine. And I'll invest in Ajani here. Cat's off to you. I'd love to wasteland them, but with that Noble Hierarch sitting there, seems mid. This is some kind of Maverick, Cradle, something or other creature, make them big toolbox deck. My job here is to, A, not get smushed by a giant Scythe Cat Cub out of nowhere, and B, don't let them assemble layers of engines I can't beat. Like if they get Elvish Reclaimer plus White of the Reliquary plus Fiend Artisan in play, or Knight of the Reliquary, or, you know, these value creatures. If they get 2 or 3 of those in play at the same time, it could be trouble. Oh, Wasteland's actually fucked up. My plan was to bounce the Scythe Cat Cub with Teferi, but now I might not have that option. They went after the black land, which I know is not the important one. I got a lot of white removal in this deck. Tameo. All right, well, I guess I'll just play Tameo, and I'll leave my Cat Warrior back to block with. My opponent can decide if they want me flipping my Ajani or not. Caracas. Okay, well, that answers a bunch of my permanents. Yeah, opponent could attack, kill the Cat Warrior, then with Ajani's flip trigger on the stack, bounce Ajani. That would cost them mana, but is that worth it? I'd only be saving 1 damage, but I would be forcing them to spend their mana on something. No, I'm gonna just take it. Because they can't really tap the Caracas for anything else either. Oh, that's nice. Now I've got options. I'm just gonna go to combat to start. If they don't want Tameo in play, they can say so. Okay, attack with all of these. Okay, bouncing Tameo after she's made a clue. You gotta make a call there. Like, are you doing this or not? That's not my fight either. That's fine. Like, there's no reason to bounce Tameo in combat after attacks. It's either you bounce it before she makes a clue or later. I'm going to plow this cat, waste this Caracas, replay Tameo off of an Underground Sea. Okay, passing the turn. Opponent has 4 cards in hand. My flow state is not online. All right, that's fine too. I am the control deck here, and them using the cards in their hand on my various dopes who have already drawn cards, I just have to be okay with. Curator. I am going to force this, and with the face-up Wasteland, I think I should leave Flow State in my hand, not Teferi, because I might be playing on 1 mana here. Wasting me off black again. Belia card would be good if I could cast it. Ponder would be perfect, because that digs for the land and turns on Flow State. I'm a little worried now. The double Wasteland has added up. Land number 3. Something's happening with it. Badger Mole Cub. All right. You got it. That one's not scary by itself. It could become scary if they rip a Green Sun Zenith that they can now do for 4. And I'm definitely going to stop attacking. This cat warrior, it's time to defend. All right, opponent successfully wasted me off of that color, which is a shame because this would turn on flow state as well. Scythe cat cub. Oh, there's more spells. Settle down. Sheltered by ghosts. Get wrecked, me. Right in the main deck. Okay, opponent is all in, but I'm far enough behind that I don't think I have any outs left. Ward 2 on this thing as well. Yes, Felia is pretty busted. All right, not anymore. That would have been 3, 4, 5, 6. That would have been the last turn where that was an option. Okay, the double wasteland. Gotta respect it. Wrath. Do I think this is a Green Sun Zenith deck? Sure looks like one. Spell, Pierce, mediocre. Force of Will, mediocre. Bowmaster did appear to have things it would kill. Teferi might be mediocre, especially when I'm bringing in better cards. I think one Containment Priest is fine. Okay, keep. I'm going to play Tamio on turn 1. I have the Brainstorm to follow it up. Like, I could go Brainstorm Cabal Therapy next turn. If they have Once Upon a Time, then I might even know a card for certain when I cast Cabal Therapy. There it is. Show me Sightcat Cub. Knight of the Rel. All right. I've got a good target for Cabal Therapy. Or Tamio. Goodbye. Hardly knew you. Scrubland. Not what I'm looking for. I could develop Baleful Strix this turn, because Knight of the Reliquary is a 3-drop. I'll still know that's there next turn. I'll go Strix. A lot of lands. Brainstorm's going to have to fix this. Hierarch and Hierarch. Deal. I like Felia. Okay, I'm going to Cabal Therapy first before I decide what else I'm doing. See what's going on over there. Knight of the Reliquary. Hope there's 4 of them in your hand. Just one. I'll still take it. Keen-Eye Curator, Path to Exile. The Path to Exile means Felia is not going to do what I want. So I will Brainstorm here. Just a lot more lands. I'm going to ponder Ajani. I like that. Okay. What do I do with this? Oh, I guess I have to flashback anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'll just take these cards. Because if I don't flashback, I just lose the Cabal Therapy. Because the Keen-Eye Curator will take it. I flashback, name a Keen-Eyed Curator. Get that out of here. Path to Exile Plains is their hand. They do have some damage on the board, though. Double Noble Hierarch does attack like a real creature. What if Foothills was the draw? That could represent a Dryad Arbor or a Surveil land. Right, I'm going to play Ajani. I know that removal spell's there, but the only way out of it is through it. And I've got this Felia to jump in after the path is flushed. I've got basics in my deck. Surveil land it is. Kept their card on top. Sucks. Plains. I think the play here is double block. It's the same as chump blocking, but also I'm happier with the result if it just happens. Like if they decide they're happy losing their Noble Hierarch in exchange for my Ajani, like I can live with that. All right. Now, I'll still develop the Felia and Brainstorm. Okay. The Panic Path. I would like a basic Plains in play. Brainstorm, please be good. Whoa, baby, that's good. I can only play one of these reasonably. Put back Marsh Flats and Wasteland or second Murktide. I mean, I could play the other one for just a bunch of mana. I think that's fine. I'm going to attack with my cat first. There's a card on top of their deck that they didn't play and they did keep there on purpose, which makes me think that it's a reactive card or removal spell of some kind. I'm going to fetch, and I'm actually going to make a little Murktide first. Meticulous Archive kind of nice here. Force of Will. All right, I don't want that card. Murktide. We've got one sorcery in the graveyard. They're not going to daze me. Okay, I left all my spells in the graveyard, which means the second Murktide juices the first, and if I happen to top deck Flow State, we're still in business. I think if they have a removal spell, it's going to be a Swords to Plowshares kind of thing. I don't think having a 3/3 versus a 7/7 on this particular turn cycle is going to affect my life. Okay. Drew a land. Here is obviously the card that was in my hand based on how I played last turn. Straight up schmirking it. Back for 9. Wow. All right, yeah, no removal spell, no play for a whole turn cycle. What was that card kept on top from the Surveil land? Clearly not what This game did not happen the way they thought it would. They kept a card on top and then just didn't play it for 3 turns and conceded. That was weird. Surprise, I have Murktide Reach in my deck. Okay, Teferi, Time Raveler. That was a surprise to me as well. I've not seen this card in 3 rounds yet. I think Teferi as just something that does anything is fine, actually. I could shave 1 Therapy. It's a bad top deck, and this is a matchup where both players will end up Hellbent. Yeah, I kind of want to see one of these early and then never again. Okay, white cards in my hand. I like it. Savannah. Zenith confirmed. Okay. Good to know. Containment Priest is live. Yeah, I'll just play Tundra and pass. I was going to start thinking about whether I'm going to play Flooded Strand. Am I going to fetch a basic plains? Does any of that matter? But drawing the extra land is nice. Frenzied Bee. Can't counter that one. Just roast that guy. That's damage I don't want to be taking. Uh-oh. New plan. I'm going to Cabal Therapy naming Swords to Plowshares. Oh, it's doing the double thing again. I wonder if it's possible to pick the wrong one. Disruptor Flute and Keen-Eyed Curator. Man, that Curator's a dick. And Caracas in that hand? Wow. Alright. I got some work to do. I'm going to have to Force a Will this Curator. And then navigate the Caracas. Disruptor Flute, also pretty good against my deck full of Planeswalkers. Surveil to the top again. Caracas on the board. Force of Will, this jerk. Gotta go. There is the cool thing going on here where opponent will have to decide if they want to Disruptor Flute or Caracas. I guess they could just Disruptor Flute the backside of Ajani, but I am ripping this off. Make a decision. It might be better to just flute the backside, or top deck Swords of Plowshares. That's cool too. But I will take this Disruptor Flute. I know it's there. Savannah Disruptor Flute is the hand. Pass. I'm looking for one of my wastelands here. I was going to get Meticulous Archive, but now I have to think about it because Wasteland could take me off a whole color if I do that. Tameo. Okay. Does this do anything to play? And if they're too cagey with the Caracas, I could end up with one of these legends in play on my turn. If they do it now, okay, cool. So I will have either Tameo or Felia in play on my turn. More likely Tameo, because or Dryad Arbor's not going to attack into this. There's Savannah. No attack. I'm going to just fetch Underground Sea to round out the colors. Underground Sea, Felia. And they should bounce Tameo still, because they take 2 from Felia, and I don't get any actual value. It's not even good. All right, well, that happened. Wasteland. My own Wasteland. Okay. Combat. Who are you more worried about? Oh, nobody. Everybody's getting in. I guess I'll flicker out Tameo then. It's not doing damage anyway, and if I can grow my Felia, that's fun. And I can use Wasteland to blow up Caracas in a spot where I could just flash Felia back, and it doesn't matter. Wasteland, do this now while I can't hit Tameo, and I can just play the Felia. Sure. My plan to make it bigger didn't work out that way, but I end up with all my legends here. Had Windswept Teeth and Pass. Squad is Awakening. All right, same attack, same play. Flicker out Felia, or flicker out Tameo with Felia. Whatever this thing is I'm trying to say. Uh-oh, am I getting Enduranced? Come on, blue card off the top. Magic is easy. Good hit, good hit. We take those. I'm not too proud. Now, opponents in top deck mode, they've got a lot of mana. I have engines, but not much mana. Uh-oh. Is this the same thing again? Endurance off the top. Oh, that card's nice. I will attack. I will flicker out nothing this time. No blocks. Second main, Brainstorm. Flow State, let's go. I don't have a sorcery, but there's one right here. I'll figure that out. I think I'm going to go Prismatic Ending Ponder back. Just play my land drop plus Tameo. Pass. End step fetch. Did that fail to find? Or did Savannah come into play and I just blinked and missed it? Can't imagine they'd fail to find with only 4 lands in play. Felia has eaten poo. She did a good job. She was a good dog. And I'm not going to crack a clue token, which should be suspicious to my opponent, because my plan is to ponder into flow state and just have trillions of cards. Ponder. I do want this prismatic ending. I know there's creatures in that deck, even if they're not here right now. Underground Sea, flow state, swords to plowshares, and Wasteland, I guess. Wasteland can kill Dryad Arbor if it has to. If I had seen or suspected Natural Order was in their deck, I would have wasted the Dryad Arbor main. I just don't think that's a thing they have. This is where I get cooked by Natural Order. Oh my god. Don't do it. No, this is a Zenith. Alright. I couldn't stop that one by wasting Dryad Arbor. Do they have, I guess, Grist. Grist to kill Tameo. Wasteland does break that up. And I just have a handful of removal for clunkers like Knight of the Reliquary. Right, that's fine. Swords to Plowshares. I don't care about the life total, and I just want to be mana efficient here. That's why I used the things that I did instead of Prismatic Ending on that. And if they have something like Choke or Carpet of Flowers, Ending does still have text that the other card doesn't. Dryad Arbor, attack, die. That attack was not going to take me off Tameo Ultimate, but getting to keep the body around is pretty nice too. I'll crack a clue. What the hell? I'm about to draw 18 cards. Why not another one? Draw my deck. I do have to win the game still. And one of my Murktides is in exile. Okay, this is plenty of stuff to play the game with. Arrakis, Ajani, and we'll figure it out from here. Do I have a Force of Will? I do. Can't imagine how my opponent can win the game. I just have to deal 20 before I either deck myself or spend 13 minutes, which should be fine. Scythe Cat Cub is fine. And Step Felia plus Tameo. Baleful Strix is now an engine with my Felia. I'm going to prismatically end Scythe Cat Cub and just become aggressive. Flickering the Strix does deck me twice as fast, which is one of my opponent's win cons. But I think I can afford to do this a couple times. Strix comes back, draws Swords to Plowshares. The Containment Priest is in my hand as well. I can start flickering my opponent's creatures out. We got the GGs. Those were fun games. Scrappy mid-range Magic. I'm trying to draw cards. They're trying to deny resources. Solid. On to the next round. July 24th through 26th, Excalibur Events will be running one of their 3-day weekends in Columbus, Ohio. This event will feature a CEDH 25K, Riftbound tournaments, sorcery tournaments, and Magic side events, including on Sunday a pre-modern 5K, which I will be attending and participating in. If you want to come compete, sign up in the link in the video description and use code KOVAL for $5 off entry. I'll see you there. I am on the play in round number 4. Moderate hand, but this is a hand that gets flow state going pretty quick. And I'm going to keep, and I'll Cabal Therapy, naming Brainstorm, my normal, in the dark pick. I did Google my opponent's name, and they have 0 legacy finishes, a lot of standard, Pioneer, Vintage. Like, they're a multi-format player, clearly, but no legacy information I can pull from. Right, named Brainstorm. I'll pick the bottom one this time. Tempt Fate. Stock up. Wow. All right. So there is a banger name for Cabal Therapy here, if I can get a creature on the board. And they're clearly some sort of show and tell deck, it looks like. Looted Delta. I think we're going to see that Ponder. There it goes. If I draw a Tameo, I'll definitely rip it off on Cabal Therapy. If I draw one of my 2-drop creatures, I will use Force to push it through days and play the Therapy. Especially if it's a Ajani or Strix, then it's really easy. But even Felia, I would throw in the graveyard here for 2 stock-ups out of their hand. Did not shuffle the Ponder. That's not a creature at all. I could Brainstorm into the Daze. Yeah, if they want to Daze this Brainstorm, I guess I let that happen, then I cast Flow State next turn, but fetching here would be so good. If they Daze this, they're just back a land, and next turn I Flow State. I think I'm okay with that. Oh, if it isn't Tameo, Inquisitive Student. Okay, Prismatic Ending and Swords of Plowshares, not very good cards against Show and Tell. So do I need 4 lands? A Swords of Plowshares could clip something like an Atraxa, or if they're on an Acererak build, I could see it. But now that I can't protect Tameo with Force, I'm not going to go for that. Petal, Ancient Tomb. Hopefully we've left the Daze phase of this game. They'll probably rip off one of these stock-ups here, and then I have to guess a little harder with my Tameo Cabal Therapy next turn. I know there's another stock up over there. Finding a second therapy would be ideal. If I could just cast one from my hand, name stock up, see the hand, Tameo flashback, or top deck of Johnny, have like real value out of my therapy, I would be okay with that too. Meticulous archive. Hey, a Johnny on the tippity top. A coddle pariah for your face. Okay, we're in there. Cabal therapy. I am going to name stock up here. Something's happening in response. Oh, a brainstorm to hide the goods. I think this looks like a good place to put a force of will. If they've already come up with show and tell plus win the game card, using the force there hurts a little bit. But if they need this stock up, I can live with that. If they force me back pitching stock up, then we're just in a full guessing game. Okay, these things appear to be happening. I am going to name stock up. And they have sneak attack Archon over there. Okay. Stock up's gone. They can play the sneak attack this turn, but they can't activate it. Swords to Plowshares might buy me a little bit of time here. We'll see. Okay, don't draw a Lotus Petal. That would be great. Fuck off! Alright. Great! I guess what I'm going to do here is... Oh, I just lose my whole hand anyway. Yeah, because the daze is still there, my opponent will get to attack. Oh, even if I plowed it in response to the trigger, I'd lose the flow state. And I sacrifice a creature and a planeswalker both times. Or a creature or a planeswalker. Yeah, I just lose everything here. Alright, so they are technically... Alright, whatever. They draw 2 cards. I'll try to cost them the daze at least. Like, this ends up the same thing. Like, I have nothing. But they are also down their daze now. Can't fight over that. Daze is gone. The hand is 2 lands. And I take a bajillion, you draw 2 cards, and I just hope that I draw something that gets me out of this. Okay, they've drawn 2 cards. Now I'm betting against the Sneak and Show fail rate. Brainstorm, I will rip it. Ball Therapy. Alright, I'm going to Cabal Therapy them naming Atraxa, and I'll leave Ponder on top of the deck. Atraxa, Grand Unifier. Alright, their hand's bad, which is what I needed here. No action over there. I'm drawing Ponder, and the second they draw a monster, I lose, but I am thugging it out. The opponent surveilled a daze to their graveyard. I'm drawing Ponder. Murktide Regent, you don't say. And Caracas, okay. I am developing the Murktide first, because I gotta get this clock clocking. Leave an instant and a sorcery in the graveyard, and now hit them 3 times and hope Caracas is good enough, though it usually isn't versus sneak attack. Brick, 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 brick. Oh no, that's so many looks. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Shuffled, they shuffled. Brick, 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 brick. Lotus Petal's not it. Island's not it. All right, let's fucking go. Caracas is in play now. That doesn't really help. I mean, versus Atraxa, they wouldn't be able to kill me with Atraxa, but they would refill their hand to the point where they could kill me with anything else. Brick, 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 brick. No! Alright, well, there's Atraxa. If this somehow fully whiffs twice. Okay, there's a second Atraxa in the hand. Oh, there's also Embercool. Alright, whatever. Okay. I made a fight out of that. Yeah, I needed them to not top deck Lotus Petal, and then that game's pretty easy, but even after they did, it was still pretty well fought. Okay, Containment Priest, Hydroblast, Force of Negation. Also, if I just had the Soul Read that they were a show and tell deck, Cabal Therapying stock up. I think all my opponents should let me look at their hand. I think that's a fair way to balance me playing Cabal Therapy in my deck. Just at the start of each game, I get to look at your hand, and then we play on. Obviously, I'm joking, but believe it or not, Gataxian Probe was legal in Legacy for a very long time. Okay, do I want 0 white removal spells, or should I start trimming on stuff like Orcish Bowmaster? I think 0 white removal spells is fine. Let's game. Prismatic Ending can stay in for things like Defense Grid or Blood Moon. Okay, hand is bad. None of these cards are the ones I want versus Sneak and Show. Mulligan is a little better. I'm going to keep this and get rid of Ajani. I could get rid of Murktide. That is a blue card, though. All right, Ajani to the bottom, and I'm going to play Tamiyo on one. I am going for Tundra. Even though Cabal Therapy is one of my better cards in the matchup, there's still more white cards. Island Ponder. A frustratingly handsome open from my opponent who's up a game. A smart and thin open. Shuffle the library, though. Still thinking. Do you have 3 Lotus Petals and a Show and Tell? I'm not ready for that shit. Okay, they've passed the turn. Cool. Okay, do I want to save this Marsh Flats for future information? I could just play Wasteland, because what I'm likely to do this turn is just crack a clue. Yeah, I'll just play the Wasteland and pass. A Ponder. And the fun sub-game versus combo decks that are named after cards, like Sneak and Show or like Doomsday, is the longer the game goes, the more likely their namesake card is in their hand for Cabal Therapy. And we try to balance casting Cabal Therapy on the turn where they're most likely to have the card, but before they've had a chance to cast the card. Do not shuffle this Ponder. Explosives for 0. Okay. What does that do? Crack my clue. Brainstorm in the grip. Containment Priest. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to attack. And my options here are Brainstorm, flip Tamiyo, get that happening. Or just hold Containment Priest, force blue card in my hand. I think I want the Brainstorm. If this draws any blue card, I'm pretty happy. And of course it did not. I can put back the 2 lands and then therapy my opponent. Okay, I'm going to Scrubland Cabal Therapy. I don't have to get Scrubland anymore. I thought I had to because I was going to play Priest this turn, but now I could get Underground Sea. Okay, C, Therapy. I'm going to name Show and Tell. Show and Tell after 2 turns of Sculpting. Oh, it's through the breach. Sure. That's cool. Long way off of that one. If they did just Ponder, they could have hidden one of the goods on top. But if they did that, then I know Force is going to work. Because I know all the other cards in hand. Clever, clever. I can hardcast Force of Negation soon. Force of Will counters more things. I'm obviously countering this. I'm just deciding how it's going to happen. All right, I'm going to Force of Negation pitching Murktide Regent. And then Tamiyo could just pick up Force of Negation again. Thalia. I could also pick up Cabal Therapy, rip the Atraxa or Ponder out of their hand. I think I'm actually just going to return Force of Negation to my hand, and I'll pass the turn. I don't think I need a Wasteland. There's the Ponder. Looted Delta. I could draw a card or I could Thalia. I think I'd rather draw a card. I don't want a Priest here. Ooh. Teferi's really good in the near future. Through the Breach is an instant, which is pretty annoying. I think I just want to pass, though. And it's probably going to fetch their Surveil land here. There it is. Puts Daze into the graveyard. Brainstorm. Can't afford to spend my Force of Negation on that. Literally, what is this doing? I'm still trying to figure out this Explosives on 0. Another Brainstorm. Their hand is very different than the last time I saw it. Hopefully Containment Priest with Counterspell backup is just enough. Lotus Petal on the stack. Mana floating. Just going to rip off this Through the Breach. Stock up. I don't like that one. Okay. Stock up's going to resolve. I'm going to play out Containment Priest and Thalia in this end step. That's my plan. And then stick to Fairy with Force backup so they can't cast instants to fight. And then they have to answer Priest and face up Force of Negation to win. But this Ponder 2 Brainstorms and a stock up since I saw their shitty hand. Their hand is probably not shitty anymore. And that changes what I got to do. So with Teferi and a creature in play and Cabal Therapy in my graveyard, I can wait until they put Through the Breach on the stack or Show and Tell on the stack and then Therapy the thing they'd like to put into play out from under them. Okay. I'm going to cast Containment Priest. Start there. 5 cards in your hand. 2 of them have to be Payoff plus Enabler. Disruptor Flute in response. I'll fetch now and get a Tundra. The Disruptor Flute in response is interesting because they might name Force of Negation with this and then try to Force of Will my Priest, and then I win that fight anyway because I have both of these. Named Tamiyo Season Scholar, sure. Well, that's actually sick for me. Or no, I can't flicker it out with Thalia. Oh, I could flicker a Flute out with Velia. No, we're fine. Oh, there's a Tameo anyway. Teferi. I'll put this guy out. Oh, this is a good one to flicker with Velia. Okay, play Tameo. Therapy you. I'm going to name Atraxa. Atraxa Grand Unifier. Still in there. Brainstorming, they're pretty good. Bounce your Disruptor Flute. Play my land for turn. Do I want to plus Tameo or just delete this for a Brainstorm? I'll plus it. I'll give you multiple problems to solve. Attack for 4, flicker out to Fairy. Okay, we've turned the corner. Brainstorm, off you go. Ponder. Is this just going to shuffle the Brainstorm cards? Shuffles the library, yep. Scalding Tarn. And passing, nice. That means I am untapping with Force on the hard cast available, which means Tameo buying back any blue card gives me 2 layers of interaction. Cabal Therapy. Do I even want that? I guess that I can cast Cabal Therapy, or I could float it in my hand. All right. I'm going to get Brainstorm back from my graveyard. This is Force blue card. I'm going to plus Teferi, which unfortunately means I don't get to draw a card this turn. I'll flicker out their Engineered Explosives that's not doing anything. Okay, I can Cabal Therapy at instant speed. I can hard cast Force of Negation, and I can alt cast Force of Will, all at the same time, which means if they do somehow win a counter war that removes my Containment Priest from play, I can Therapy in response to a show and tell, name a monster. If I'm wrong, flash it back, name a different monster. And they're dead in 2 hits. Okay, they've had enough. Too many hooks in. If they didn't have their Abrades or Lightning Bolts or whatever in, they do now. I don't think Surgical Extraction is a good card in this matchup. And if Cabal Therapy clips a sneak attack or a show and tell, and then I take all them out, that's half their win con's gone. But I don't think that's actually what I want to be doing. I'd probably cut one of the Felias to make room for that. Or maybe this Prismatic Ending. But I still believe in Prismatic Ending in case they have a defense grid. Yeah, this is the plan still. Okay. I like these cards. I do need to make it to turn 2. The op Maul to 6. Scalding Tarn. They have 61 cards in their deck right now. Or no, there was a... Did I miscount that? Or was it true? I think it was true. Yes, there are 61 cards in their deck. So many good sideboard options, they couldn't cut one. That's a good rip. I was going to start debating, do I play out my Tameo, or do I have to ponder for interaction, or do I just hold up Hydroblast? And I think I want to hold up Hydroblast. Getting juked by a Blood Moon when I'm so good at everything else would be pretty bad. Ancient Tomb. They're sending it. Force pitching Brainstorm. Okay, I've won the fight. I think I am going to fetch Surveil here. Wasteland. Interesting. I am going to keep that card, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to Flooded Strand pass. If they follow up with Sneak Attack, I could Hydroblast that. If they do nothing this turn, I'll just enjoy that. Take my profits. Okay, Force of Will now in the mix. I think my plan now is to flash out Containment Priest and start beating. I could Hydroblast Lightning Bolt or some Answer to Priest. One thing I have to think about a little bit is Through the Breach, which we've seen. If they threw the Breach in response to me Containment Priesting, and even if that creature dies in the end step, that's potentially an Atraxa trigger. If it's Archon, I actually just lose my... Or no, it would be in response to Priest, so I wouldn't lose my Priest. Ooh, dumped it Through the Breach. That's the card I was just thinking about. So either they already have one of those, or they're so far off from playing it that they couldn't think about it. And they shoved a show and tell. Presumably there's something worth putting into play in their hand. Unless that was the aggro Him to Turok show and tell, which is in the range of good show and tell players, is when you know you're playing against a blue deck, even if you don't have it, just cast show and tell, they'll have to force it. And a Brainstorm. Ponder, no shuffle, Brainstorm immediately. Maybe they dumped the Through the Breach because they were worried about this Wasteland taking them off 2 mana. Lotus Petal. And land. Oh, lots of mana. 3 cards in hand, though. If it is Enabler Payoff, then the 3rd card can't be Force Blue card. And I've played around Daze by not Wastelanding. I'll play Containment Priest. If this puts in Omniscience, I might still lose, but I am gonna roll the dice, I think. Priest resolved. Okay. Pass priority. Please don't put in Omniscience. Yeah. All right, we faded. And I couldn't put in Tamio there because she'd be exiled. All right, let's get to work. Actually winning this game. Ponder into flow state is on. I think I like that more than playing Tamio right now. Just make sure my hand is unassailable. Ponder another force. Let's go. Fetch. Underground Sea. Flow state. I would love a blue land here to hold up Hydroblast. Oh, days. Got my ass. All right, that's fine. I don't care about that at all. But presumably their hand is a monster and the land they just picked up, which was not Thundering Falls, which would have been a little extra value there. Yeah, that's why I would have liked the blue land, but I will Force of Will this. I'm going to pitch the Hydroblast. My opponent's hand right now is some monster with no other action. How bold am I about tapping out of Force of Will? I think I can push this. If my opponent from one card in hand goes kill Containment Priest, put Attrax into play, I literally don't even know how that happens. I don't think it happens at all in one turn cycle. Uh-oh, red mana. Oh my god. Well, that sucks for me. I may have thrown this game. Okay, I hope I draw a blue card. Okay, here we go. Blue card off the top. Not a blue card. But it's enough that I feel good wastelanding. Do I take you off more mana? Yeah, I think I take you off more mana. And I do have cards in my deck that draw more than one card, so I should play out my land. Yeah, if I lose this game, it was completely just greed, greed, greed. But opponent did rip the Wrath of God. Oh no, they misclicked. That's tough. And they could still kill my Orc army here, but presumably they meant to put that mana into that. Okay. That does change the clock, but probably not how they wanted it to. Okay. Shields are back up. Crisis averted. Opponent has 5 turns to get combo plus protection, and if they draw any cards to try to make that happen, the clock gets shorter. All right, Big Ajani. Now they're dead on board. I think it was a reasonable deduction by me and got full punished by the perfect rip from my opponent, but also I could have just turtled up, so that didn't happen. Okay, literally dead. Let's go. I can count to 4. Stressful, but successful. We have a trophy match coming.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the draw in the final trophy round. My opponent has a 61 card deck. I have seen more and more of that lately, but that is usually Oops All Spells tech. But I don't think I'm gonna be mulling this hand, and if I die, I die. Okay, good. Perfect. Fear is the mind killer. You can't just mulligan because your opponent has 61 cards in their deck. Okay, I'm gonna Tundra Ponder here. Ajani, Baleful Strix. Plow. I think Plow is the card I want the least here. Or Strix is the card I want the least here. I don't know. If they're a Felia deck, I will hedge and just bank the Plow. Or like Stoneforge Mystic. You know, Tamio, hypothetically. Okay. I could try to develop Felia. Or I could just plow this Tamio now. I'm going to go for it. Okay, good. We got her. I think they would have brainstormed main phase if they had it. Ponder. Oh, the very nice Ponder. I love this art. Top card right now is Baleful Strix, a card that I don't expect to actually be good in this matchup. Ooh, Bant. Suddenly Bant. I'm going to get a Surveil land. I'd love to find a Cabal Therapy and see what's going on over there. Another Plow. All right. I will respect the possibility of Felia. I say, as I sit here with a Felia in my very own hand. I'm going to Brainstorm. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Do I want to shuffle these lands? Do I want to shuffle this Murktide? Murktide could get it popping here. If I put Strix or Scrubland Strix back, then I have my next couple of land drops. I think that's good. What does Cabal Therapy even name here? Force of Will? I haven't really cast a spell they'd want to fight over yet. Forcing to protect Tameo is a maybe. They would have played up the Beanstalk. They haven't had a chance to plow anything yet. I'm going to name Force of Will. We got one. Okay, look at that big old reactive clunker of a hand they got. Force of Will, Leyline Binding, 2 Wrath of the Skies. Leyline Binding costs 3 right now. Oh, come on with that. Ugh. Well, that one's actually terrifying. But the good news is... Oh, there's a lot of good news, actually. Okay. I'm going to play Ajani and hope they haven't drawn specifically Force of Will off of that Beanstalk trigger. They can't Force of Negation this. And I don't really care if they Force of Negation the Cabal Therapy after this point. I'm going to name Leyline Binding, because that answers my Planeswalker. Another Beanstalk. I'll waste that green source. Make a cat. And hope you just don't draw any cards and I win. The Wrath of the Skies for 0 does clean up the cats at any point, and they can do that twice, which is kind of annoying. Oh, that's nice. Attack with a cat. Start there. I think I might just go Prismatic Ending Murktide. Prismatic Ending Murktide. Put the damage on here. Oh, you drew Force of Will? Brutal. I knew it was possible to interact with the Prismatic Ending, but I was hoping that it would have to be off Force of Negation and it would cost cards for no gain. Still ramming this Murktide, though. Do I need a second black? I guess I'll take it. Fuck a flow state. I'm going full damage. Let's go. Trying to get the game one. Quantum Rizzler. That's a draw 2. One from the Beanstalk, one from the Rizzler. Hoping to see that land drop get missed. Wasteland. That doesn't count. Deal. Deal, deal, deal. Okay, Johnny's going to go up this turn because they probably have to Wrath to survive anyway. And adding this Felia to the board, or Tameo to the board, doesn't help. Flashing in Felia in the end step might help. Unfortunately, this Cataclysm on Ajani doesn't pick lands. It does all the other permanents. Okay, Cabal Therapy plus Wasteland gave me the path out of that game that I was getting in big trouble from. Okay, another Bant Beanstalk deck. 2 of those in a league is surprising. We saw Quantum Riddler, which implies Felia. A Wrath, a Force of Negation. Again, not a lot for this matchup. I'll cut 2 plows, keep in a road. I don't want to ramp this deck, but they are going to have Planeswalkers. Let's try it. I got to scam. Got to get some... The game's got to look like that for me to feel good in them. Or have Narset in play. Those are my outcomes. 1 mana. Not ideal. Brainstorm is nice. I am going to keep this. I'm on the draw with Brainstorm in a slow matchup. Going to have to put some faith in the deck to just give me that mana to play with. Ridiculous Archive entering tapped off a Malta 6. We have seen Wasteland from my opponent as well. Not ideal. Dumped a land. They're not worried about Wasteland. Strix. Strix is great. That's a blue card I'm happy to pitch on a Beanstalk here if we end up in a fight. Uh-oh, is it my turn to get full cheesed? Brainstorm, just show me 3 lands. We found 1, but it doesn't cast the Ponders in my hand. Bad news. Okay. This game's going to be ugly. Stupid Scrubland. If that was Tundra, we're just right off and it doesn't matter. I can't imagine my opponent's deck has very many Wastelands in it. Okay, that's the brick we knew was coming. I have to discard... It's either Wrath or a Road. I think it's going to be Wrath, because I could even... Like, if I draw a land, I could play Strix, erode my Strix, ramp, get back in. Alright, deck, land off the top. Never didn't have it. That's not the land I was looking for, but I will cast it. Ball Therapy. This also sets up Ajani to be insane on my next land drop. Okay. Force of Will, Swords to Plowshares are reactive cards my opponent might have that they wouldn't have played yet. I think Brainstorm and Ponder would have been cast if they had them. Quantum Riddler, they might be trying to hold on to that one. I think I want to name Force of Will again, just so I know what my protections are. Oh, we got two of them. Pew, 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 pew. All right, cool. Okay. It's lucky when the card you care about also has to be a card your opponent has multiple copies of. All right, opponent, I did just set up their Murktide Regent, though, but I can erode that if I need to. Ponder's fine. I think I still would rather erode to ramp them on the Murktide than use my Force of Will on that. Murktide's in. Tameo. All right, I'll erode this thing. It sucks to do it now instead of the upkeep, but I'm going to lose it to hand size anyway. Okay. Screw beats Flood. How about we get out of here? Unscrew myself. Shuffled the Ponder. Played a land. They've got 2 reactive spells in hand. Oh my god, deck. Why? I guess I discard... Oh, well, they're fetching in the end step. Just getting Xander's Lounge. Probably discard one of these Ajanis. Though raining Ajanis on them after the fact could be nice. I'm going to discard Tameo. Another land. It's only a matter of time. Deck. All right, now we will discard an Ajani. Fetching in the end step again. Mystic Sanctuary grabbing a Ponder. All right. Desperate Fraction. Discard Ajani. Ponder. Brainstorm. Flooded Strand. Tameo. I don't like this. This one is actually going to kill me. I'm going to force this pitching Baleful Strix. All right, deck. How about it? They fetched in the second main. Ponder. Okay, so they shuffled away one of these removal spells at least. Shuffled that Ponder. No! Life is pain. Land. Land. Fuck! Mathematically speaking, I should have drawn 5 lands by now. Lorien revealed with a Beanstalk trigger. Yeah, nice. Tameo. I'm ready for it this time. I'm just plowing it. Probably should have done that in the end step. I'm just on tilt. Draw a 2-drop. Yeah, yeah. Give me more of those. Maybe my opponent will just deck before they can kill me with all their massively dominating resource count. Brainstorm. A fetch. Oh my god. Another 2-drop. Yeah, keep them coming. I think there's a few left in my deck. Can I draw them all? Holy moly. All right, how do I actually play this hand? I guess I put a Ajani on the stack. If they just tap 5 mana for Force of Will, if we're at that phase of the game, it's whatever. Yeah, that evades getting 2 for 1 while 2 for 1ing me. Something else is happening. Another Lorien revealed. Yes. My win condition. Deck yourself. It's my only way out. Play another Beanstalk. Cycle to Lorien. But you didn't want to cast another one of those? Beanstalk, Beanstalk, Beanstalk. Leyline Binding. Oh, we're just cycling cards now? I like that. Yeah, it doesn't even get your hand smaller. I discarded 2 Beanstalks, so they know how this phase of the game works. A Flow State. Is it better for me to discard Flow State? I think it is. Yeah. Oh, I had 7 cards in my hand. Cool. I thought it was 8, the way they were clumping together. Quantum Riddler. All right. I will cast Orcish Bowmaster, who's just going to get answered. But I got to do something. It was Bowmaster Orphelia. A pitch cast force. Does that mean you're out of fetchables, or that you want to keep mana up because you're not worried about your cards in hand? Either one is a reasonable position to be in. Force pitched Brainstorm. Oh, you're in trouble now. Look out. I am going to cast Flow State. Looking for some of my removal spells. Now my job is actually to just run them out of threats. Okay. Spend a Force of Negation on that the hard way. I'm at 18. Facing down 15 cards in their deck. Oh, the other Wasteland. Cool. That's probably 2 that they play. Oh, left me with blue. I love that. I'll take it. I think leaving me with blue is a big mistake. Because I've clearly been unable to cast a white or black card for the last 14 turns of this game. And I hit this blue land and immediately started flow stating. That should be a read, I think. Unless you're worried about snuff out. Murktide Regent. Clock's getting faster. Flow state. Yeah, it simply does not matter. They just have everything. But, you know, they've drawn 2/3 of their deck. More than 2/3. Okay. Getting completely housed by one wasteland, not ideal. Against the control deck that has 2 wastelands in it. It's fine. It's fine. I will just submit my deck. I still think this is the deck that I have to play with. I just need to cast spells. I think I win that game quickly and violently if that scrub land is just Tundra instead. This one does not cast my spells. Meticulous Archive gets a look. Do I want to roll these dice again? I do. Let's go. Can't be scared of playing normal Magic just because you got punished for doing so last game. Archive. Opponent mulled to 6 again. There we go. There we go. See? Magic's easy. Don't worry about it. Meticulous Archive. Played. I'm just going to play a Strix this turn. That gets me on the board, starts cantripping. Hides Orcish Bowmaster from their first wave of removal. I still have Force of Negation blue card if they go for Beanstalk here. Now Tamio's in the mix. Let's go. A fetch. No, please. Force that. They're forcing me back. So it costs them 2 cards to draw 1 card after I spent 2 cards, and then I'm going to Prismatic Ending that and be down a card. They are up cards on this exchange, ultimately. Oh. I'm going to Prismatic End this first, and then waste the green. I think I'm more scared of green than white out of their deck. That's Carpet of Flowers, that's up the Beanstalk. White is just removal, and my creature already drew a card. Ponder. Shuffle the library, Moment of Truth. Okay, a tap land. Other wasteland? Other wasteland? Not my other wasteland. Alright, fine. Strix, attack. Develop Tamio. Got Bowmaster in the cut here. Green mana unlocked. What do we got? Beanstalk. Pressure it. Yeah, brainstorm me better. Good idea. That does tap them out of Leyline Binding, which means if Beanstalk resolves, or if Bowmaster resolves, they're going to take quite a bit of damage. I am starting to run out of cards, though. Okay, we're in there. Take some damage. Take another damage. Push in. Ajani. Okay. Attack with everybody. I'm going to draw a card first. I'd love to flip Tamio this turn, and it's going to happen. That gives me a different kind of permanent to play the game with. 3 lands, I don't think so. Shuffle that. Murktide, that's more like it. Plus Tamio. Play Flooded Strand. Alright, opponent needs some kind of big sweeper here. I guess playing something like Murktide would slow the game down, but I still have Strix in front of that. If their hand is like Ponders and Leyline Bindings, they're in some trouble. Leyline Binding. Gotta decide if Bowmaster or Tamio is your larger concern here. Decided on Bowmaster. Reasonable call. There's Murktide. That is 6/6. Mine can be the same size. I don't know anything about my deck. I'm just going to take a draw step here. Ball Therapy. Let's go. Okay. Therapy, name, Force of Will, I think is where I'm going to start. Force of Negation just ripped it right off. Okay. Okay. Tight. I could play my own Murktide, which is the same size as your Murktide, but mine wins the fight because of Tamio. I'll attack with Strix. I want that life total dropping. A Murktide plus Tamio. Pass. Okay, if opponent has Pyroblast here, they did just fetch a red mana. Okay, looks like they're just building out Domain, maybe. Land, 2 cards left. Quantum Riddler, that draws 2 cards. Warping, it's interesting. Could have just spent 5 on it and had a 4/5 in play. But looking for spells to cast, I guess, rather than meat on the board. Brainstorm. Fetch down to 5. Swords to Plowshares, okay. Opponent's going to have to decide if they want to go to 1 life here to threaten Tamio. Tamio doesn't even die in this sequence. And I get to clap back for 4. Oh yeah. Oh yeah! Race is on. Tamio goes to 1. Blocker? Boring. Okay. Draw for turn. Flow state. I have just flowed out of my state here. I will flow state, though. I'll take the Anticipate. Huh. This Swords to Plowshares could be good. And that kills Tamio without doing any damage. Okay. Or gaining any life. Oh, no! No! No, 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 no! I thought I was pondering! No! No, you fucking idiot! God damn it. I was clicking them to set them back for Ponder, and apparently you can't Control Z this. God damn it. That's the worst card. That's what I was putting on the bottom because I wanted it the least. Fuck. All right. Attack you with my creatures. Do you want to go to 1 or lose your Tameo? All right. Losing Tameo anyway. I'm crashing out. I guess I want Scrubland here. That covers me from Wasteland the best. Okay. Ajani, Nakala Pariah. Boy, I wish my opponent was at 1. F6. Let's go. Another Beanstalk. Again, could have played Riddler from Exile here. Looking for other action. My attacks are really good here if opponent just has nothing somehow. I mean, if I get to untap and opponent tries to combat trick me, the Spell Pierce might actually do something. Leyline Binding, draw 2 cards. Suspect I'll lose Orc Army here. It's my biggest thing. Okay, still worried about Tameo. Interesting. All right. I am not worried about Tameo here. I'm worried about dealing my last 4 points of damage. Which, actually, I just have that here. Is misclicking into the Spell Pierce going to win me this game? I'm going to brainstorm first, see if I can find a Cabal Therapy to check the runway. Oh. Teferi doesn't help. Is Teferi better than the Spell Pierce? All right, I'm going to go Ponder Force of Will. Or I could just have Force or Spell Pierce up and attack. Oh, this is so tight. Obviously, if Teferi resolves, I just win. If they kill one of my creatures in response to Teferi on the stack, I don't win. All right, I'm going to keep 4 Spell Pierce in my hand and just take my lethal attack here. Attack. Okay, we've got a block. 4 damage still represented here. Oh my god. Priority was passed. Spell Pierce. And if they have Pyroblast, they could kill Baleful Strix and be at 1. Holy moly, we did it! The trophy, the misclick Spell Pierce actually somehow came up to win me the game. If my opponent had just main phased their Swords to Plowshares there, I'm in trouble. But I guess in that case, I just ponder into the Teferi and send it because I have no other play. And if they have nothing, then I still win. Oh my god. Well, Esper Midrange, featuring Modern Horizons 3 cards, Cabal Therapy, and Flow State. I think that if you get away from Felia and just play 4 Flow States, this deck might improve dramatically. And Felia was fine. She had some moments where she was cool, but really, the Murktides are going to win this game most of the time, and especially if we have more ways to look, more ways to refuel. It's the 2-for-1 theme deck. Pretty nice, Pedro. We did it. Could definitely play with the flex slot some more. Is this one Orcish Bowmaster important? Is Felia even good at all? Do you need 5? Do you need 6 removal spells? And is this the right spread of the 6? Is this one of Spell Pierce something you want? Are these the right Planeswalkers? Do you want Planeswalkers at all? All of these are flex slots for the most part that you can work on based on your metagame and your understanding of the format. But here today, nobody could defeat me. I'll take it. This was Cat Therapy. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.